Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel, Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I've got a gift request from funRonni. Ronnie, thank you for this gift and request of this series of Bill Anderson's 50th anniversary of his career. It's a celebration. Many artists here, household names in traditional country, are here to honor him. Vince Gill is hosting it, so that tells you something about Bill's career. But Bill is a songwriter, a performer, obviously a host of Country Family Reunion and other things, impacted many, many people's careers, and he still has a great head of hair. I don't know how he's pulling this off. I think at the time of this recording, he's probably 80, 82 years old, something like that. Sheriff was still alive, Jimmy Capps. He passed, I don't know, about 5 years ago, and he's here performing, so I'm guessing this might have been at least 8 years ago or so. In any case, let's see. This is part 5 of the 3rd episode. Sounds like legal talk. All right, here we go. Thank you again, funRonni. This goes in the documentary series playlist.
Good job.
Jimmy Seeley just got done performing.
There was your great first line right there.
I just kissed the one I love for the last time.
I'll
Great
get your
first line.
attention.
Great first line.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill, we're talking about 50 years of a great career, and that longevity is as much to do with your willingness to embrace young people, your willingness to take some of the great young songwriters and champion them, write songs with them. And I know you mentioned Jamie Johnson here earlier, one of the great young guys that has come to town with a great gift. And also John Randall is here. And talk about your willingness to invest in some of these young guys.
Well, let me preface this by saying that we talked about co-writing earlier, and I said I had done very little of it. The first young, new co-writing star that I ever had a chance to write with was this man sitting next to me. I was very intimidated. I've told this story before. I was intimidated by writing with somebody from the next generation. I didn't know if I could do it. He may look at me and say there's an old dinosaur or whatever, but you were so kind to me the 2 days we got together and wrote songs that it gave me confidence to want to go out and meet some of the other young people and to try and write with them. I learned as much or more from you and from John and from Jamie and other people as you'd ever learn from me. I mean, it's different. There's kind of different rules today, and you write a little bit from different perspectives. Yeah. But I love it. It energizes me to be around you, to be around Jamie, to be around John and other people like that. I get so much positive energy from young people and from their musical ideas and their taste. John Randall is one of the most incredible musicians and singers and everything. I mean, it's just, I don't know why John's not the biggest star in country music, because he sure has the talent to be. And I mean that.
He's going to turn red.
And here we go in the room, and we'd written a few songs before we wrote Whiskey Lullaby, hadn't we?
We sure did.
We'd written a song called Cold Coffee Morning that you recorded, and a few other things. Yep. And we go in this day to write this. I mean, we both. He was coming out of a terrible experience in his life, and that's what spawned the mood and the feeling for Whiskey Lullaby. But here was a guy from this new generation, and everybody's saying, okay, you got to write up-tempo songs, you got to write positive love songs, and so we write a double suicide, murder, drinking song. and God love him, he wasn't afraid to do it, and by fact, he wasn't afraid to do it, he made me not afraid to do it. And we did it.
And Bill's still the only guy I write with that's not afraid to write a double suicide drinking song.
That's country music, ain't it, John?
No, it is. It is. And I'll tell you, you're talking about the generational thing, and we were writing. I'm going to tell the story. We were writing with Brad Paisley. Bill and I were writing with Brad Paisley one day.
I know what you're going to tell.
And we're getting ready to. We've been working on this song, and of course, Brad's hooked up to the the millennia, you know. He's got every computer and gadget and iPhone, everything you could want. And he's got all his computer stuff out, and he's typing everything in, and he's recording everything on his little computer GarageBand stuff. And Bill pulls out one of those ancient old tape players, you know, the little one that we've been using for years, you know, the cassette player.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in his pen and paper, and he gets it out, and he's, pencil, I'm sorry, pencil and paper. And Brad looks up and he goes, wow, pencil and paper, when did you quit using a chisel and stone?
You left out the key word. You said, hey, Moses.
Hey, Moses, yeah. Bill came right back, he picked up his pencil and pad, and he said, this has never crashed.
Nice.
That's great.
But John, speaking for our generation,
Yeah.
the truth of it is, it's great to hear him pay great compliments. But I know from my case, and I would bet the farm from yours, you want to go to the well, from where
Yes.
great country songs were really authentic, and they were written in the day of that language that was spoke, those changes that were done, the melodies that were written. You know, there are very few great melodies written these days. You know, and we came to you because we wanted to learn something.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
And learn something every time, too.
Yeah.
You know, every time we sit
You
down.
learn how not to do it.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong answer, sir. After the jukebox says, no, thank you. Nice try. John, would you do a little bit of that peppy little...
Let's kill some people, you want to?
Let's kill some people.
On behalf of undertakers everywhere, thank you.
John Conley's in it.
I'm gonna get my wife Jessie Alexander to sing harmony up here too.
Is he gonna do Whiskey Lullaby? Yep. Put the bottle to his head and pull the trigger.
She put him out like the burning end of a midnight cigarette. She broke his heart. He spent his whole life trying to forget. We watched him drink his pain away a little at a time. But he never could get drunk enough to get her off his mind until the night he put that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger. It finally blew away her memory. Life is short, this time it was bigger. The strength he had to get up off his knees.
I am wondering, because Jessie Alexander is John's wife, and he's writing with Bill Anderson this song, and I'm sure he shared it with Jessie at some point. I wonder what her reaction was, like, oh my God, you're gonna go with that? Or that's deep. I don't know how that's gonna play, but holy cow. I wonder what her impression was. It's not an easy song to sing.
We found him with his face down in the pillow, with a note that said, I'll love her till I die. And when we buried him beneath the willow, the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la. years and years. She tried to hide the whiskey on her breath. She finally drank her pain away a little at a time, but she never could get drunk enough to get him off her mind until the night she put that bottle to her head and pulled the trigger, and finally blew away his memory. Life is short, this time it was bigger than the strength she had to get up off her knees. I found her with her face down in the pillow.
I still can't believe that perspective that they said that the labels were all doing up-tempo stuff. They went in to write, and then they come out with a double murder suicide song. I'm just, because they just flashed at Bill's face, and I'm just like, human nature's a funny thing.
Clinging to his picture for dear life, we laid her next to him beneath the willow, while the angels sang a whiskey lullaby. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yes.
Okay, who wrote that first line? I've always, since the first time I heard that song, said, who wrote the first line?
The man himself.
Yeah, that's a wonderful,
when we got
incredible-
together, thank you. When we got together that day, you know, you go in and you say, well, you know, you got an idea, something, and I said, yeah, I've been kicking around the idea of writing a song called Midnight Cigarette, and I said, you know, the thought would be that the love went out like the burning end of a midnight cigarette or something. He said, I really like that, and he got to fooling around with it. And then all of a sudden, he comes up with, put the bottle to his head and pulled the trigger. I said, forget about the midnight cigarette. You know, the idea was obviously the whiskey lullaby, but he was kind enough to leave the midnight cigarette line in there and let it be the opening line of the song.
Talk about a textbook opening line, sir.
Yeah, it is.
Great song.
Wow.
Great song.
Y'all did good.
All right, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave it at that because there's one more episode left. I love this. I love even the, you know, Lynn Anderson there, you know, and folks here are like, okay, who wrote that first line? It's like, we're all curious, you know, where did the idea come from? That's why you've heard me say so many times over the years on the channel and songs like, I'm trying to, like, sometimes I can restructure, sort of like reverse engineer a song lyrically and say, all right, I know where the germ of this idea for the song came from. It came from that line, whatever the line was in the song. And then the rest was fleshed out around it because some ideas you could just tell that had to be the germ. It couldn't be some tangential idea there and then for you to backfill and come up with whatever idea it was. But they wanted to know that opening line, where'd it come from? Who wrote it? And I love that. I love it. And Bill remembered. He remembered he came in with this idea and then that got kept in the song, but really the pulling the bottle and drinking was the killer in this one. And John Randall took over. So I'm waiting to see Jamie Johnson. I want to see him and hopefully he'll be in the next episode. the next part of this episode. So, Ronnie, thank you again, my dear. Holy cannoli beans. All right, guys, have a great day. See you on another video and keep rocking the country.
And Brad looks up and he goes, wow, pencil and paper, when did you quit using a chisel and stone?
You left out the key word. He said, hey, Moses.
Hey, Moses.
Hey, Moses.
Yeah.
When did you?
Oh, yeah.